Good morning, everyone. Shavua Tov. This week's Torah portion begins with the story of the lifespan of Sarah, and the verse says, Sarah lived 127 years. And the verse says, these were the years of Sarah's life, 127 years. And then the Torah says, Shnei Chaya Sarah. This was the lifespan of Sarah's life. And the question is, why is it repeated twice in the same verse? And Rashi says three words which are fascinating. Rashi says the verse is teaching us that Kulan Shavim L'Tova, all the days of her life were equally good. And the question is, can any person ever say that all the days of their life are equally good? There are always going to be better days and worse days in life. How could the Torah say that all the days of Sarah's life were equally good, especially if she lived 127 years? And especially we know that Sarah had some very difficult challenges. She was abducted twice. She also was childless for many years. So how could the Torah be saying that all the days of Sarah's life were equally good? The story told about, there was this very pious Jew who lived in a city, and he was very pious but very poor. And his daughter was getting married, and he had no money to marry off his daughter. So one day he's walking in the street thinking, how am I going to marry off my daughter? And he sees someone selling lottery tickets. He decides, maybe I should buy a lottery ticket. So he buys a lottery ticket. He goes home with his lottery ticket. And his neighbor, who is a dishonest person, a thief, hears that his pious neighbor bought a lottery ticket. So he figures, well, surely my pious neighbor is going to win. So he goes and buys another lottery ticket, breaks into his neighbor's home, and exchanges his ticket for the pious Jew's ticket. Sure enough, the lottery comes along, and who wins? The pious Jew. So the thief goes to his neighbor and he says, listen, I have to be honest with you. I broke into your house and put in my ticket and took your ticket. So really, the ticket that won is my ticket. And even though I did something terrible, I'm a thief, I still won. It's my ticket. So I want the winnings. So they went to the rabbi. The rabbi at the time was the Meshech Chachma, Rabbi Simcha of Devinsk. And he heard both sides of the argument of the two Jews. And he said that the one who gets to keep the money is the pious Jew. He says, why? He says to the thief, you don't understand something. He says, you think it's the ticket that won, and therefore you're saying it was my ticket that won. I exchanged my ticket for his ticket. But the truth is, it's not the ticket that wins. It's the person that wins. It's not the ticket. It's the person that God wanted to have the winnings. And therefore, since he won, it means that he was intended to have that money. Had his original ticket been there, that would have been the winning numbers, because God intended the person. Sometimes people walk through life and they think, oh, if I only would have done this, I only would have done that. Had I invested in this deal or bought that stock or bought that piece of property, I could have been as rich as the next person or as successful. And the answer is, God doesn't make properties win or stocks win. God makes people win. And therefore, whatever happens to you in your life, that's what God intended for you. And therefore, the verse says, all the days of Sarah's life were equally good. What the Torah is telling us is, not that they were equally pleasant or equally easy or equally enjoyable and pleasurable. Of course, there were good days and bad days, harder days and easier days. But what the Torah is saying is that all the days of Sarah's life were equally good. Why? Because Sarah understood that everything that happened to her in her life was all from Hashem. It was all intended for her. And therefore she perceived and viewed every day of her life as being equally good, because this is what Hashem wants me to experience today. And that's what we could strive for in life. We can't strive for all the days of our life to be equally perfect or easy or enjoyable. They're going to be easier days and harder days in life. But we could eliminate a lot of the frustration, a lot of the stress, a lot of the anxiety, a lot of the anger, a lot of the jealousy. If we realize that whatever happens to us each and every day of our lives was equally good because it came from Hashem, and whatever Hashem gives us is the good that we have to experience in our lives. Have a wonderful day.